Look at her. Just look at her. If you saw her on Instagram today, you would double tap without thinking. Nneka, the diamond of the island, the slay queen, 10 million followers hanging onto her every word. A brand ambassador for banks that wouldn't let her open a savings account 5 years ago. She sits in a Lekki mansion that smells of lavender and big money, surrounded by cold marble and golden plaques. She has everything a Lagos girl is supposed to pray for. But look closer at her eyes. Why are they so dry? Why is she staring at that framed photograph on the mantelpiece? An old, crinkled picture of a village woman holding a baby. As if she's trying to solve a difficult math equation. She picks it up. She frowns. She squeezes her eyes shut, trying to force a single drop of emotion, a single tear of recognition. But nothing comes, just silence. You see, Nneka paid the ultimate price for the glow. She made a trade. And in this Lagos, where nothing goes for nothing, the bill has finally arrived, and it is much heavier than she ever imagined. To understand the emptiness of the palace, we must visit the chaos of the huts. Rewind the clock 1 year ago. There was no marble floor then, just a cracked linoleum rug in a face me I face you apartment in Surulere. The air was thick with the smell of frying oil and the sound of the neighbor's generator battling the heat. Night after night, she sat on her worn-out mattress, the light of her cracked phone screen illuminating a beautiful face specifically designed for billboards, yet hidden in shadows. She scrolled. She watched girls with half her talent flying first class to Dubai. She watched influencers who couldn't spell scripts signing multi-million naira deals. She had talent. Oh, God knew she had talent. She would cry on cue until her eyes were swollen. She could memorize 20 pages of a script in an hour and deliver it with fire. But she had learned the hard way that in Lagos, talent without connection is like shouting into the roaring noise of a giant diesel generator. Nobody hears you. Nobody cares. A text message pinged loud in the small room. It was her landlord. Another threat of eviction, the third one this month. She set the phone down and looked into the cheap mirror hanging crookedly on the wall. She didn't see beauty that day. She saw exhaustion. She saw the creeping terror of failure etching fine lines around her eyes. She saw the looming possibility of having to pack her Ghana must go bags in shame and return to the village, defeated, another Lagos casualty. The hunger in her belly wasn't just for food, though she often skipped meals to save transport money for auditions. It was a desperate, clawing need to be seen, to matter, to prove she existed. And that kind of hunger, when left unsatisfied for too long, makes a person willing to eat absolutely anything set before them. She didn't go to a forest at midnight. She didn't meet a withered old witch in a shrine decorated with skulls. Evil in the modern day is sophisticated. It lives in a painted bungalow in a quiet estate. Mama Vossa looked like any successful Alhaja you'd meet at a wedding. Well-fed, skin like shea butter, wearing lace that was more expensive than Nneka's rent. But her eyes were older than the foundation of the house. The room didn't smell of blood. It smelled of heavy, suffocating jasmine incense and ancient clay. Nneka sat before her, hands trembling. She expected a heavy price tag. She expected to hear a figure in the millions. But Mama Bosse just smiled, a smile that didn't reach those ancient eyes. She placed a bar of black soap wrapped in velvet and a string of waist beads on the table. Money is paper, my daughter, Mama Bosse said, her voice smooth as oil. The glow you seek, it requires space. To fill a cup with new wine, you must pour out the old water. You will gain the world, 10,000 eyes at a time. But for every crowd that cheers you, a piece of your past must fade to make room. Nneka didn't add what fading meant. She didn't ask which parts of the past would go. She was too busy imagining the flashing light, the fame. She nodded. She took the soap. She filled her fate. The magic was efficient. It was digital. It was immediate. Nneka washed with the soap, and the next day, her skin didn't just shine. It commanded attention. A director spotted her at a grocery store and offered her a lead role on the spot. Her Instagram page, once a graveyard of 50 followers, became a machine. Every passing day, her followers grew massively. The endorsement deals started pouring in. She moved from Surulere to a high-rise in Ikeja. She was intoxicated by the validation. She felt heavy with success, but light in spirits, suspiciously light. It happened during a celebration. 200,000 followers. She was live on camera, laughing, glowing, the queen of the internet. Then a private line rang. A name flashed on the screen. Chidinma Bestie. Nneka stared at the phone. She knew the word bestie. She knew she should answer. But when she heard the voice on the other end, the voice that had once whispered secrets to her under blankets, a girl she had shared chewing sticks with in the village, Nneka felt nothing. Nneka, it's Chichi, the voice cried out. Nneka laughed nervously to her thousands of viewers. Who is this? She asked. She wasn't being mean. She genuinely did not know. The memory of 20 years of friendship had been deleted to make space for strangers who only loved her face. She hung up. The void had begun. A sensible person would have stopped there. A sensible person would have thrown the wave beads into the lagoon and begged for her memories back. But fame is not sensible. Fame is a drug, and Nneka was overdosing. By 1 million followers, the holes in her mind were turning into craters. She was forgetting a lot of things and people. She was standing on the red carpet of the AMVCAs, the cameras flashing like lightning storms. She looked breathtaking, but inside she was becoming a ghost. A journalist thrust a microphone into her face, breathlessly asking about her huge night and wondering what her father would say if he could see his little girl now. Nneka froze. She smiled because her face knew how to smile on autopilot, but her mind was racing, frantically searching through the filing cabinets of her brain. Father. She knew she had one. She knew he existed, but she couldn't conjure his face. Was he tall? Was he short? Did he have a deep voice or a gentle one? He did love her. She couldn't remember. I'm sure he's proud, she lied, her voice hollow. Later, in the back of her tinted SUV, she tried to force herself to remember a single Christmas at home. Just one. But all she saw was white noise. Every 100,000 followers cost her a year. The glow was eating her history to fuel her future. She was becoming a beautiful woman with no origin story. And then came the day the bill was paid in full. 10 million followers. She was preparing for the biggest deal of her career, an international campaign. She sat in her closet, surrounded by designer bags. Her phone rang. It was an uncle. The name on the screen was familiar, but the emotional connection was severed. Her personal phone has been ringing incessantly for an hour. She finally answers on speakerphone while examining a new Gucci purse. His voice fills the expensive, quiet air of the closet, thick with tears and age. He delivers the news bluntly. Her mother, Mama, is gone. She died in her sleep this morning in the village. The words hung in the air. Nneka stood there, holding the leather bag in one hand and the phone in the other. She waited. She waited for the grief to buckle her knees, for the scream to tear through her throat. She waited for the grief that breaks daughters when they lose the woman who birthed them. She looked at her reflection in the floor-to-ceiling mirror. She blinked. Nothing. No pain, no sorrow, no devastating loss. It was like hearing about a stranger dying on the news. Oh, that's sad, her brain thought logically. But her heart was empty. The realization hits her not as sadness, but as horror. Pure, cold horror. She had traded the memory of her mother's love, her mother's smell, her mother's laugh for 10 million strangers on an app. I don't remember her, she whispered to the glass. I don't even know who died. We are back where we started. The cold mansion. The photo of the woman who is now just a stranger in a frame. The door bursts open. Our manager rushes in, buzzing with excitement, holding a tablet high like a trophy. He is shouting with excitement. The social media post, the one his team crafted about her mother's passing, is blowing up. 2 million likes in 1 hour. The engagement is insane. It tells her everyone is talking about her strength, her grace in mourning. It tells her she is bigger than ever. Nneka looks up from the photo of the stranger. She looks at her manager, who sees only dollar signs and engagement metrics. Then she looks at the camera. Slowly, mechanically, she puts on the mask. She smiles. It's the perfect, dazzling millionaire smile. But behind the eyes, the lights have gone out completely. She got exactly what she wanted. The whole world knows her name. But Nneka doesn't even know herself anymore. Be careful what you pray for in this Lagos. Some glows are not lights. They are just a fire waiting to burn you alive.